and I will try to give you at the very beginning just an idea of my institution. I work for the Institute of Educational Technology of the National Research Council in Italy, which is called commonly CNR. We are one of the 109 institutes of CNR, which is a huge, maybe the main public research institution in Italy. And we are in the Department of Cultural Identity. However, our institute is called Educational Technology Institute because it has a very unitary focus on educational technology, although it is strong interdisciplinary, and most of us have different degrees: engineer, language, literature, computer science, and so on. So it's populated by very different people and researchers. We are, let's say, very proud to be considered key actors in the sectors of educational technology, both in Italy and Europe. We'll show you later on our commitments in different partnerships and projects at Europe. Now, before leaving the microphone to my colleagues, just a bit short ideas of why, what's our investigation and research sector, that is the educational technology research sector. Very briefly, we live in the 21st century, which is called the century of the knowledge society. And the knowledge should be spread and provided to everyone. In this century and in this society, we of course face problems, we face new needs, and we also have new tools. This is the rationale behind educational technology research: how to rethink learning, teaching, and education in the light of the new problems posed and the new needs posed by the knowledge society. This is our main action research before. One of the first and most important ideas in the knowledge society is to extend and to rethink education in terms of education for all. I hope that our participation in the ETNA network will also help us to go further in terms of education for all. This means that education is something that all should be for all people, independently of their abilities or disabilities. And I think that our participation in ETNA will help us go straight onward. Now I leave the microphone to Jeff, who is going to explain a bit more in detail the activities of our institution, the Institute of Educational Technology. Then I will be back to you later on. So now it's Jeff's turn, and I give him the microphone.
Right. Thank you, Michela. I hope everyone can hear me quite clearly now. I'll try to speak loudly. Let me know if you can hear us. Some people are saying there's a loud echo. We can perhaps improve that situation if everyone mutes their microphones. If everyone turns off their microphones, clicking on the button at the top of the screen, it might improve the echo situation. I hope, anyway. I'll continue in any case. Let me know if there are problems. Okay, so I just want to briefly describe some of the research themes that our institute pursues. Obviously, with educational technology, one of the main areas of application is in schools. This is a very important research line for us. And of course, is also educational technology is also applied and adopted on a widespread basis in different disciplinary areas, be it mathematics and science, language educational, cultural heritage education, and so on. It's a very important element nowadays for teacher education and training, as we try to help teachers to innovate and to be able to modernize their approaches and techniques in their educational work in schools and universities. Obviously, as Michela mentioned before, with the advent of the knowledge society, fostering the development of new competencies such as knowledge sharing and also collaboration are very important. This is another area of focus for us. Online learning is obviously a very important aspect, and games for learning, games-based learning and serious games are also gaining increasing importance. There'll be a little bit more about that I'll mention to you later on with another network of excellence. And of course, last but obviously not least, e-inclusion is a very, very strong aspect for us across the board for all areas of research into educational technology. One very important area of work for this institute is the publication of a journal here in Italy, Italy's leading journal in educational technology called TD. It's published 3 times a year. We're now up to the 53rd edition, and it's available online. And it's currently in the phase of being accepted for ISI recognition, which will be a very important development for this particular initiative of the Institute. Okay, as Michela mentioned to you early, ITD has a long tradition, a strong tradition in the European context. This goes right back to 1988, and from that time has continued very strongly. And in recent years, as you can see, we've been involved in 8 different European projects, coordinating 3 of these, and we're also currently involved in 4 different networks of excellence, and I'm about to give you a brief description of these right now. The first of these to mention is, just one second, is Stella, which is dedicated to technology enhanced learning and is currently underway. The next is Gala, Games and Learning Alliance, which is dedicated to serious games, and I'm going to mention something about that a little later on. Following this, there's also another network called VMustNet, which is dedicated to virtual museums and cultural heritage. And of course, as you all know very well, we're also involved in the ETNA Network of Excellence. So right now, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Francesca Pozzi, who's going to give you a brief description of 2 of these networks of excellence. And then following that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Gala and serious games. So just one second, and I'll hand over to Francesca.
Hi, this is Francesca speaking. So as Jeff has already mentioned, I'm going to give you a brief presentation of both Stellar and VMAST networks of excellence. So let's start from Stellar. Stellar is the only network of excellence funded under the 7th Framework Program in the field of technology enhanced learning. And this research field is not new at all. As a matter of fact, in the previous framework program, there had already been 2 networks of excellence funded in the research area of technology enhanced learning. And I hope you can hear me better now. And Stellar, in some sense, represents the effort to unify the previous networks. This is because it has been recognized that the research field in technology enhanced learning is rather fragmented, and the research is pretty scattered. So main aims of Stellar are to overcome such a fragmentation, to enhance visibility of TEL work, and last but not least, to set up a new and joint research agenda for this field. In order to give you a rough idea of the main topics on which the work in Stellar is built, I have written down here. You can see here 3 circles, each one representing one of the main challenges in Stellar. We have 3 main challenges, which are connecting learners, orchestrating learning, and contextualizing learner and instrumentalizing context. As you may see, these challenges are rather broad, and in order to give you an idea of what kind of research questions can be considered under these umbrellas, I have written down some examples of research questions. So for example, under the umbrella of connecting learners, you may find the research question such as what are the characteristics of a network for learning? What are key enabling and success factors for learner networks? And so on. And as far as orchestrating learning is concerned, you will find all the research questions around the teacher's role in the learning process. And under the third challenge, contextualizing learning, you will find research questions such as issues such as mobility, ubiquitous learning, and so on. So, so far so good. Let's move to the other network of excellence, which is in which ITD is involved, which is called VMAST. VMAST has been funded again under the 7th Framework Program. This time the research area is ICT-based solution for cultural heritage, preservation and education, and in particular virtual museums. Unlike Stellar, this research area is pretty recent, and there is a lot of work to do because virtual museums are something which already exists, but the experiences are rather scattered, and there is no shared knowledge about how to design, develop, and evaluate them. So main aims of this network are to improve the sustainability of already existing virtual museums, to define shared technologies and also shared methodologies on how to build new and sustainable virtual museums. Again, here, in order to give you an idea of the topics, of the research questions that we will address in VMAST, I have written down some main umbrella. So you have a research question concerning communication. So how can a virtual museum better communicate? What does the user need from a virtual museum? What does he want? And about the development, what is the typical life cycle of a virtual museum? What are the typical formats that can be used? So also technological issues. And concerning education, which teaching and learning approaches are applicable to virtual museums? And are present virtual museum technologies compatible with present school infrastructure? And so on and so on. And then there are also several issues concerning how to evaluate a virtual museum. In the case of VMAST, while the previous network, while Stella is almost at its final stages of development, VMAST has started last February, so the work is still at the very beginning, and as I have already mentioned, there is really a lot of work to do here. So I think that's all for me. I think I can leave the stage to Jeff again.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much, Francesca, for describing those networks to us. And now I'm going to give you a very brief description of the Gala Network of Excellence that I mentioned before, which is dedicated to serious games. This is another network of excellence that is funded by the Commission under the 7th Framework Program, IST-ICT, for Technology Enhanced Learning. And it comprises about 30-odd partners from 14 different countries who are exploring the question of serious games. Now, you may ask yourself, what exactly is a serious game? And that's a very good question. It's indeed one of the questions that the network is exploring and dedicating itself to. Well, to make it simple, let's say at a very minimal description, we could say that serious games are digital games that have either been designed or can be used for purposes beyond pure entertainment. And perhaps one of the most important of those purposes beyond entertainment is learning. Now, what are the main aims of this network? Well, they have, it has aims that are in common with other networks at European level, obviously, to overcome the problem of fragmentation in the serious games field, which is a very complex one, running from commercial business enterprises right through research, schools, education, and so forth. To try to shape and boost the serious games research sector, to give it some critical mass within Europe, and hopefully to catch up with other bases for research in this area, such as the United States, and importantly to address some of the main challenges facing different stakeholders in this area in Europe, be they, say, for example, researchers trying to reach a better understanding of the sorts of problems concerning the design and deployment and use of serious games and how best they can be used for purposes such as learning. Also the challenges for commercial enterprises in developing and innovating in this field and so forth. And also importantly in the education field, for educators to be able to know how best to integrate these types of very, very interesting and attractive tools into teaching and learning practices and processes, be they formal or informal. And obviously there is a great need to disseminate knowledge-based practices and tools on an international basis in this field as in others. Just to give you an idea about some of the areas of investigation that the network is looking at, you can see there a list on the left that includes areas that are quite technical in nature and also more general, more towards the, say, the soft science and also including hard sciences as well. You can also see there perhaps some areas that could be of particular interest in the field of accessibility and inclusion, aspects such as personalization and artificial intelligence, human-computer interaction, and also neuroscience. As far as the areas of application that are being looked at, obviously education is one of the main, if not the main one, in this respect, and tends to be quite transversal across the network. But there are many other fields of application in which serious games are being successfully used at this present moment. Areas like business, health and fitness, humanities, social learning, and so forth. So as you can see there, there's a link to the website. If you're interested in finding out more, follow the link and you can see all you need to learn about this particular undertaking. Okay, so having completed this brief look at some of the networks of excellence that ITD is involved in, I'm now going to close this part. I'm going to hand over to Stefano Bocconi, who's going to give you some ideas and some vision about a couple of some interesting projects that ITD is currently involved in.
Okay, so at present ITD is involved, as Michele has already mentioned, in a number of national and European projects. Here you can see an overview of the active projects that have been started very recently, like Magical or ESG, and other projects that are running in there during these years. Given the time available, we decided to focus on two projects, Essity Quadro and Chartec. We choose to highlight again some key ideas underpinning the Essity Quadro project that, as some of you already know, has been presented during the Maastricht workshop, because Essity Quadro deals with e-accessibility and e-inclusion issues, and so it has a strong relation with our participation in the ETNA network. We also decided to focus on briefly on the Chartec project because Chartec deals with the development of a federated portal that again might provide insight and possible solution for also useful for the development and the work that is being doing right now in ETNA for the ISTIN portal. I would also point your attention on other two projects, the VUDI project, Vocational Education of Visually Impaired People via Distance Education, and WISE project, Wiring Individualized Spatial Education, founded, this second one, by the Italian Ministry of Education. These are two projects in which ITD is participating that might be of interest for the partners of ETNA. You can find more information on the ITD, on the Institute website. Okay, as far as Essity Quadro, as already mentioned in Maastricht, Essity Quadro is a support service that provides comprehensive information on educational software. The database right now includes about 4,000 educational information of educational resources and multimedia products, both commercial and open source products. The limited number of software is also due to the fact that ITD has analyzed each of these products because the SD Quadro system builds also to the software library, which is based in Genova, and which offers also the advices of experts and teachers. The most interesting aspects of the SD Quadro online system in relation to the ETNA objectives is connected to the accessibility sheet, which is included in the educational product, the description of the educational software. This information connected to related to accessibility have been collected and have been produced based on methodology and tools developed by ITD. Within the accessibility sheet of SD Quadro, the user has access to 4 areas of information related to accessibility. The first one is called Suppliers Author Self-Declaration, where in this area, SD Quadro recalls directly what the authors and publishers officially say about the accessibility of their products. The second section of these accessibility sheets regards the evaluation of compliance with legal requirements. These sections present the data resulting from testing the compliance of each product with the 11 accessibility requirements of the Italian law in force. The analysis is carried out by expert evaluators using methodologies and tools, as I said, designed and implemented by ITD. The third section of the accessibility sheet regards the evaluation of the level of accessibility with respect to the different type of disability. The methodology developed by ITD allows also to analyze if a product is not meaningful for a specific type of disability. For example, due to a conflict between the educational goal, the ultimate educational goal of the software and the legal requirements. Finally, the last section of the accessibility sheet shows the results of accessibility in the field testing. Here the results include information about the actual usability of software products and their compatibility with the main assistive devices. Okay, the second project we would like to shortly present is the ShareTech project. ShareTech is a 3-year project led by ITD and founded under the eContent Plus program. The consortium is composed of 8 partners, mostly coming from the universities and research area related to teacher education, mostly related to teacher education, and also partners from the educational technology developer sector and educational publisher. The main target of the ShareTech project were teacher educators and in-service and student teachers. ShareTech, the main objective of ShareTech project, might be of interest also for the ETNA partners, was the development of an online portal, a federated system actually, that was mainly aimed to facilitate the access to information related to educational resources for teacher education. As I said, it's a federated system, which means that the ShareTech portal acts as a gateway to the information available in the local partners' databases connected directly to the portal. As you can see here, these are the main let's say, areas covered by the ShareTech project. And the system is based also in ShareTech, is based on an ontology developed by ITD CNR. And the ontology provided the means for describing the resources, so a set of closed vocabularies used also to connotate the resources and also to facilitate the querying of the system. Another interesting outcome from the Charter project was the development of a toolkit, the RIG toolkit, to help the user while describing the teacher education resources. So this tool provides the opportunity also for the user to add description of their products into the Charter product, into the Charter portal, sorry. So again, here we can see a picture of some part of the Charter portal. Is a multilingual portal, and the ontology provided also a framework for mapping the different cultural context connected with the sharing of educational resources for teacher education. So it's an experience that might be quite, let's say, close to the one that the ETNA project is now facing in the development, in the updating of the Eastin portal. As I said, our main aims in this project was to help the target user to search for resources by using familiar terms. In this sense, all the vocabularies have been derived from the ontology, and also to personalize the services as much as possible to respond to the user needs. So the ontology also provided a framework for describing the user role inside the system. And finally, another aspect that we developed within the portal were connected with the social networking functionalities. We realized that it was necessary to involve as much as users as possible to develop also to social features like ratings of resources, commenting, groups, to give the community the opportunity to connect and to discuss around these educational resources. So now I leave the floor to Michela Ott for the conclusion.
Hi all, I am back. I hope you have a better understanding now of what the mission and the activities of ITD CNR are, and how our expertise can be useful for the ETNA network. Actually, I have written conclusions, but there is nothing to conclude because everything is still ongoing, and I think this is an opportunity for all of us. But what I have to want to share with you a reflection that have said previously that educational for all is a target objective of our 21st century education research. Education for all is a need maybe now, because is not yet a reality. Unfortunately, we should all work towards this objective together. In my experience, I must say that being part of the 4 Nectar of Excellence, we have mentioned it before, a greater attention of all researchers in the different fields, cultural heritage, educational technology, and game-based learning. There is a strong concern about the idea of education for all, inclusion, accessibility. Everybody says, yes, this is a thing we have to face, to afford. It's a huge problem. We have to deal with it. but it seems as nothing happens. This is unfortunately my feeling, because when they have to implement and to say and to do new things, new games, new learning system, e-accessibility and usability for all is not one of the first concerns of the developers and the researchers and the designers of educational environment. This is a thing that I think it should be changed, and this is why I hope that we will all together try to go in this direction to solve the problem of the big problem, the big challenge of education for all. I think that now I'm finished. I hope we are on time, and we all are here waiting for your questions, if any, and try to answer here. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Michela, and thank to Jeffrey, Francesca, and Stefania. It was a beautiful presentation, very comprehensive, and we could see your beautiful pictures. I think that we understand that you are working for making educational processes more effective and barrier-free, and by means of technology. But as Michela said, we have still a long way to go before all this beautiful research become through reality. Okay, now we have room for some questions. So if you want to put a question, just click on the raised hands, and we will identify who are you. There is a question by Mats. Please, Mats.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes?
Yes, you can. Okay. Yeah, my question is about education for all. What kind of strategies have you been trying so far to improve the situation of accessibility in standard learning environments, educational material, etc.?
Michela speaking. First of all, spreading the idea, which is not already done thing. And then try to use our idea of universal access to education and of design for all. The idea of design for all, because we are also trying to implement some software here and there in some project, maybe a game or things like that. And the idea of design for all is quite difficult to be implemented in communities that are not used to think to that. So first of all, we try to improve the culture of education for all, and then to transmit the idea that e-accessibility is something that should be taught together with the design of the learning system, what you are going to include. These are not two tasks that, in my opinion, are not so easy, and we make some effort towards spreading ideas, as I am concerned.
Well, there is room for another question.
Could I comment a bit on that?
Please do.
I just want to share my experience from the Swedish Agency for Special Needs Education and Schools, which I used to work half-time in until a year ago. There the strategy has been for a number of years now to provide funding for mainstreamed publishers to actually set up projects to improve their teaching material to make them inclusive. So there is a resource of around, let's say, a bit more than 1,500 million euro per year to support the development of inclusive educational material. So that seems to be reasonably successful, because quite a number of publishers are now producing new educational material that is provided in parallel different formats. When they publish a book, they also publish a CD with a DAISY book or some other accessible e-book format, etc. And also to improve software, special educational software accessibility. So have you tried anything like this, or have you heard anything about this in your network?
Does anybody wants to comment?
Franci, could you invite someone of the Italian Ministry of Education here? This is a suggestion.
Yes, we can do, but I think CNR should pay the ticket.
Different in countries, different things and different cultures and different ideas. I like very much the idea of what about Italy? Now.
Okay. Yes, there is room for another question, because we had a small technical problem in trying to load Alena's presentation. So if you have other comments from CNR or questions from the audience, please do it. David, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Well, a comment. For many years, an organisation in the UK called Vector, is a quasi-non-governmental organisation, helped to promote accessibility in education for all, but unfortunately the current government in these times of austerity has closed it down. The question is, how easy do you find it to keep your software database up to date, and do you have any conflicts with suppliers as to the ratings of these bits of software?
Does anybody wants to comment from CNR?
Stefania speaking. Thanks, David, for your question. Well, actually, SD Quadro is collecting and providing information about the educational software. What I didn't mention, the SD Quadro software library started almost more than 10 years ago, and since then we 20 years, yes, you're right, sorry, 20 years ago, and since then we started establishing a sort of a network of relations with publishers in the field of education. So basically, we, for the commercial products inside SD Quattro, we have now a well-established network of publishers that are willing to provide us with demos and preview of the products so that we can work together with teachers and evaluating and analyzing these products and provide a review that might be useful also in their perspective to show the potential as well as the limits in well, let's say, an inclusive perspective to show the potential of these products and also to help teachers to design inclusive educational processes based on this product, because sometimes some barriers can be overcome by adopting some strategies or methodologies, so to include all the pupils, all the students in the classroom.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's give the floor to the Technical University of Kosice, Slovakia. I don't know, the speaker will be Dusan Simsik. Please, Dusan.
Hello everybody, I hope you are hearing me well.
Yes, very well.
Thank you. So I start with our introduction as main department is Access Center, where we are working for students with disabilities at Technical University of Kosice. But in the same time, we are working as teachers, university teachers, at Department of Automation, Control and Human-Machine Interactions. So sometimes I will speak more or less about this, our research orientation, and of course the main content will be about education and accessibility issues. So Kosice is located in east part of Slovakia. Slovakia has 5 million population, and Kosice is the second largest city in Slovakia. So we are surrounded by Poland, Ukraine and Hungary. Distances to each of these countries are very short. The shortest is 40 kilometers to Ukraine, 100 to Ukraine, to Hungary, 40 to Hungary, 100 to Ukraine, and a little bit more to Poland. So it is really multinational city, and we are a really historical city, as you can see on pictures. Our university was founded in 1952, but of course history is much more longer, starting in 15th century, but officially after Second World War we were established in 1952, so we will celebrate next year 60 years. We have around 16,000 students. More of them are full-time students, and other are external students. We have almost 900 teachers, and of course some research staff. There are several central institutes where we belong. Access Center is working on the rectorate level for all faculties, and even for other two other universities in Kosice city. We are doing some advisory for their students or teachers or administration if they have some students with disabilities. One university is oriented on natural sciences, and the other is vet university. So we work mostly for students at Technical University of Kosice, And in the same time, we are working at Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. We have 9 faculties, as you can see. Access Center was established on July 1st in 2000. Renzo knows that we started working with in area of assistive technology and accessibility in 1993, but really a big step into environment of assistive technology and accessibility was year 2000 when we established at University Access Center. So as I mentioned, in 1993 I met Renzo during one workshop in Czech Republic, and we started to work deeper in rehabilitation field oriented on assistive technology. We have established at University Biomedical Engineering curriculum. So since 1990 and 1997 in new system it was accredited by Ministry of Education. So this is really big support for us because many PhD students and students, undergraduate and postgraduate students, they are helping us in Access Center. This is very important issue for us. And also some financial support is coming from our research project which are running at faculty. Our experience in assistive technology and social inclusion program comes mainly from European transnational projects. Frankly speaking, using national sources, we would be very bad situation because it's really only a few abilities to get some support in field assistive technology and accessibility. So for us, European projects are a very big help changing the whole environment. In 1993 we started Tempus project, Integrated University Education System for Disabled, and it finished in 2003, but I would like to stress that we were lucky to have idea and to reach the goal to establish Access Center right from the beginning of the project in 2000, and then a very good training was organized at Fondazione Don Carlo Gnocchi in Milan and at University of Bristol, CHIRPS University of Rome, and Thames Valley University in London. We were supported also from Central Remedial Clinic Dublin. So this was really big experience for us and training for our staff. Further knowledge and experience in assistive technology and social inclusion program comes mainly from European projects, and we continued with projects like Grundvik, Socrates Grundvik 80 train. I think that it was also a very big step for us because we prepared training book, handbook in assistive technology in several languages, and we use this book until now for training of teachers in Slovakia or other stuff which is included in these issues in work with people with disabilities. So this was very important, this project, because we have very good materials, even it's accessible for people with disabilities. Then we had projects like Design for All for Inclusion, 2007-2009. InfoRed it was about the requalification of disabled persons who were after very heavy injuries, spine injuries. A big help for us are European organizations and networks. One of them is European Design for All Network, and AAAT organization, ETNA Consortium and project about database of IT, ETNA project now, EAccess Plus, and of course also institutions like AAATE or ICTA Europe Rehabilitation International and European Federation of Rehabilitation and Research. So this is really helping us with contacts and enhancement of our activities in the field of assistive technology and accessibility. What are our roles of Access Center? Just I have maybe to mention that Alena Galajdova and me, we are working in the center from the beginning. We established this center, but we do it only as a partial. We have a partial agreement with rectorate, so we work for almost 40%, but not in full job. So full job we work at faculty. So it's sometimes it's really very hard because it takes a lot of time to work in these two workplaces. We are responsible for cooperation with management of faculties and universities in creation of better conditions for students with disabilities, coordination between 3 involved universities in Kosice, counseling advisory for students and teachers, technical support for students. Key issues are communication, teachers, students with disabilities. From the beginning it was really disaster. Some teachers just said, I am not going to teach such students. So we had troubles to persuade teachers that to show them it is possible and the way how it is possible. So it was from the beginning quite hard, but now I think that we can say that now teachers understand that, and students also are very helpful supporting students with disabilities. So we change a little bit environment at university, and even I think that influence of Access Center as one of 2 centers in Slovakia. We are only 2 centers like that at the university working so far. So government is hesitating to support more centers like that at university level. Maybe now something will happen because there was initiative to prepare some reports about our activities and proposals how we can organize in Slovakia support of students with disabilities in a larger support. So it means also at other universities. What was new, what we starting from the beginning was assessment of students, how to assess them, and how to select good assistive technology for them. So I will speak later about this. Main activities in organization material which we developed for our center. There is description that we have to train students in assistive technology how to use it properly. We have to train teachers how to teach. We have to prepare, develop or digitalize information materials, studying materials for students. so transformed them in digital or audio form, maintenance of database of voluntary workers, as I mentioned, more or less they are from PhD students group, or we have also some professionals like from special education or psychologists who cooperate with us. Then our role is to cooperate with Ministry of Education and the third sector, and coordination of international projects in the field. As you can see, we started with quite hard role at the university in 2000, because we started supporting two blind students. One was at mechanical engineering faculty, and one boy was studying electrical engineering. So it was really hard work, because this information which we should prepare for them was based on graphical information. So graphics for blind people was for us hard work, but as you can see, we used different forms like ZFU printer and Braille printer, and also other helps which I show you later. So these are some views what we use in center, and key issues were using low-cost assistive technology. I show you some examples. And of course, we were lucky with European project support, because we were able to collect quite impressive number of assistive technology on the level high tech, like you saw there, lupa, magnifying device based on cameras and connected to computer, and different devices which are really expensive, like Braille and Braille speaker and Braille printer and other these devices which are quite expensive in our country. So I will speak also a little bit about information and training for public and professionals, because we understand that we are quite important source of information in Slovakia. So we were asked by many people, like from family, parents of young people who would like to study, and also other people who had some troubles. So we were asked to give them advice and to solve some problems with assistive technology support. I will show you also some example. And then I would like to stress that we are building also inclusive university during activity of Access Center. So low-cost solutions, I have here some examples, like you can see, to study constructive geometry and mechanical engineering faculty. So it is example of 2D solutions. We have also 3D solution. Then there was support. There was also there were some examples of combination of Braille, printing information in Braille and information in some graphical materials which the person might touch and feel the shape of mechanical parts, basic mechanical parts, and learning about strength and elasticity. You can see here different examples how we prepare this. Or also on the right side now you have example using Z-Fuse printer. Then we prepared also 3D models or 2D models. So this was everything based on activity of teachers who understood the problems that it's necessary to find a way how to offer information to students. It's really low cost, but it depends on motivation of our teachers and their willingness to do some more work. Here is example from parts and mechanism course. Here we can go further. Yes, so the main problem for training and information for public and professionals was concentrated on assessment of persons with disabilities as our clients. Of course, it was free of charge. Sometimes maybe we have found some way how to support us financially if it was based on some company support and so on. Selection of proper AT and AT training. What was the advantage of our center was that as we learned in Fondazione Don Carlo Gnocchi, there is database, a laboratory, living lab where they have a lot of technology. So we use also this way. So we have technology which we can use for teaching, which we can use also for giving students for using during their studies, so they can take it at home and use it when they study, and then they give it back to us for further use. I would like to stress that many of them, they cooperate with us, so it is very good for our development and development of the center and development of our knowledge, because we work directly with persons with disabilities on our task, what we solve during international projects or during our research projects. For example, here is a very good cooperator. He is quadriplegic person using Headmaster for commanding computer, and he is doing really great work. Now he is maybe so good professional in support of a quadriplegic person. He may be better in knowledge than we are because he when he found a way to internet world, then he was concentrating on work very much because he has a lot of time, and he is very interested in all e-inclusion, e-accessibility solutions. So now he has his house equipped with automation, different functions of home automation, and of course he is using more advanced technology for working with computer, and he is doing graphical work, as you can see. So it's not easy because you need to work with 3-button mouse, and he is not using hands, just working with Headmaster and functionalities on this display, so with software support. So he did for us this AT-Train graphics for our book and CD. As I mentioned, we developed AT-Train modular training for professionals. We use it still. Then we offer information for public and professionals through our web page. Then based on Leonardo da Vinci project Gateway, we offer information about assistive technology and about support or opportunities for students, young people with disabilities, and also for teachers. So there are some examples how they can study. There are some links where they can find a job in Slovakia, and also, of course, there are many links to European sources of information about assistive technology and good examples. The other project helping in this was InfoRedis, where we were working with physicians, trying to support people after spine injuries, e-learning directly in the phase of rehabilitation when they are still in rehabilitation department. So during rehabilitation, we visited them and we organized working places for these people after spine injuries. So AT-train I mentioned several times. Just it means AT is assistive technology, train coming with assistive technology to Slovakia. And who was supporting us? It was Danish Center for Assistive Technology, Hibernia Learning Partners in Dublin, Fondazione Don Carlo Gnocchi, Milan, Thames Valley University, and CHIRPS. And also I have to mention Alliance of Organization of Disabled People in Slovakia. We are working with them for more than 10 years, and they are very helping us in dissemination of materials and organizing different kind of trainings. And of course, regional office in Kosice, Slovakia is important for was important for regional dissemination. Also, I would like to stress that this handbook was written in English, Italian, and Slovak version. So I think I can go further because I mentioned already Gateway. This is the web page. If you like, you can check gateway2at.org. There are basic information about AT and about the way how the workplace for students with disabilities can be organized. I mentioned already InfoRedis, so we can go further. We are proud of inclusive university building. Since 2000, we changed a lot, and we are proud that we initiated almost each change in the barrierization at our university. So we can see some examples. As you can see, the entrance is based on sensors, automatic door, and entrance is without stairs, so there are ramps. Also, some are better, some are worse. This is historical, the first one which was built when we established Access Center and sheltered workshop at our faculty, so it was before 2000 even. And then, of course, there were others outside and inside entrances. More, yeah, okay. There are more than I show you now. So we are very happy for this, that we are accessible university. Speaking about research, it is for us also a big challenge at the department and faculty. Working in assistive technology and contacting different professionals, we were invited in 7th framework program to cooperate in Smiling project. It took 3 years, and mechatronical shoes were developed, and they were tested, 3 pairs were tested at 4 states, in Israel, in Italy, in Slovakia and Switzerland. These mechatronical shoes are really high technology shoes. It is a rehabilitation device to train a gait of seniors who are in higher danger, who are fallers. So they have some experience with falls, and it's necessary to train them in gait. So it's quite complicated technology. There is a microcomputer for shoe controller. There is chaotic signal coming to drives and changing the inclination of the shoe during each step during gait. So the person has to react on each change in position of the shoe when he steps down or she steps down. And of course we monitor, we measure the gait parameters, so we can evaluate if the gait is improving or not. The training is set up for 4 weeks or 8 weeks training, depending on the progress of the person. And I think that it's quite successful project. If you go in internet, so if you go in internet, you can find many information about Smiling project, especially about step of mind professional solutions which are based on the Smiling project. And we were participating on controlling of the whole system, and also on development of mechanical part. There are partners, ETNA from Italy, Step of Mind from Israel, Chu from Israel, Chu from Switzerland, sorry, so it's hospital. Facility, Mission from Israel, Abacus from Italy, IMEC from Netherlands, EPFL from Switzerland, University of Strathclyde and the University of Bologna, and Technical University of Kosice. The other project, which is also very important for us, it took 5 years. We finish this now. It was experience about ICT services for seniors living alone at home. So it is about higher autonomy, about supporting people in their daily activities at home, and about helping them to control risk when they are working at home, like gas leakage or about fire, or when they fall they are able to call to ask for help, 24-hour working supporting center, call center. Consortium was quite strong. 9 million euro was budget for this project, and coordinator was Swedish Institute of Assistive Technology. The system, you can see here the platform, technological platform. So we are using one wire and Zigbee sensors for monitoring different activities or status of house facilities. There is a Care IP telephone with Alarm button. User is wearing this alarm button, so user can ask for help at any time. And of course all information goes to the center, telecenter, which was in our case Telefonica or center based at our university during trials. We organized trials for 20 users in Kosice, and they are still using these services. So we can go further, and that's all maybe. Please, I wait for questions.
Thank you very much, Dusan. We understand that you were the pioneers in your country, and you always kept your feet on the ground, because you did not only academic research, but you worked with real students to help them go through the academic career. And it was also interesting to see your low-cost solutions. Very nice. We're almost at the end of this webinar, but there is room for some questions. David, please.
I was just wondering whether there is any statutory funding for disabled students in Slovakia, or it would be an interesting survey actually to see what assistive technology support is available throughout Europe.
Yeah, actually, market is open now, and of course, information is based on only on a few possibilities. For example, we have Union of Blind and Visually Impaired, partially sighted, and they have a quite good center where they offer products. For a couple of years, they offer maybe 5 products. Now it's much more better, and I would maybe I can say that our access center was able to offer much more technology to users who contacted us, and to find other possibilities and organize even purchase of these devices when we were asked to help them, then this specialized center was able to do. We still miss some centers, technological centers in Slovakia, who would be based on professional marketing or market level scheme. Students and other users, there is a social law which declares how much support people can get. It depends on assessment of their disability, user disability, and on this definition they can apply at regional social offices for financial support. The rules are changing very often. When government is changing, when financial situation of government is changing, we have changing maybe each year. Sometimes it's going very down from the level which was before, and sometimes a little bit higher, but many users with disabilities were complaining in last 2 years maybe, because they lost ability to apply for this support. People who were using before this financial support, they lost it immediately. A big part, maybe 10-15% of users with disabilities. So there is some financial support, is not too much, and sometimes it's really complicated for people to get what they would like to have, and not each case is supporting enough. So I would say the situation now in Slovakia is like in the beginning of supporting of market and system, social system, supporting people with disabilities on good professional level. So we are in the beginning.
Great. Is there a last question? Okay, I don't see other questions, so thank you very much to all the speakers from CNR and from TUCE, and see you at the next seminar. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.